A lot of people making really small gestures and taking, small actions adds up to something more meaningful and powerful at times.
I always think something so small can turn into something so bigger and greater. So I think starting at such a small gesture can lead to something even bigger along the way.
It's really nice to know that there's so many people that actually care about this movement and care about us as people.
I think that the simplicity of the sign just helps those who are scared or just not comfortable saying Black Lives Matter, although it shouldn't be a controversial thing to say. It gives them a stepping stone into being able to say those things. My name is Amari Lewis. I'm 17 years old and an incoming freshman in college.
I'm Samaya Lewis. I'm 15 years old and I will be a junior this attending fall.
We're selling yard signs to bring awareness to the community about Black Lives Matter and what's going on in the world today. We hope to expand, but right now we're just focusing on making change with what we have right now.
A friend of our mom's gave this idea to us. She started putting signs out in predominantly white neighborhoods to get a conversation started, and then thought it would be a great idea to give it to us because we're so involved with being a part of the change and changing. A higher promise came from our mother, and I actually came from our brother who passed away last year due to gun violence, and he would always say, "I promise," and he would keep that promise. So Mom decided to name it A Higher Promise in honor of our brother. So his idea was to build a teen center and a community center for the youth, and just to get them together and make sure that they had a safe haven to go to, so that they could, express themselves and feel comfortable doing, just anything. So that's what his goal was, one of his goals.
You're always gonna have those people that are negative about it and don't really trust what you're doing. Excluding that, the response has been overwhelmingly positive, and there's people that you wouldn't think that would advocate for you that we saw buying the signs and talking to us, like our teachers. Like, you always think they're gonna advocate for you as students, but they never advocate. They wouldn't advocate for you as people, and so to see that was really heartwarming.
Our friend I think she just was tired and fed up because we've known her for years. So she's always been speaking up about Black lives and how it's always mistreated. And one time she told her mom that she never has to worry about her children because just the way the society looks at them. She's just been talking about this stuff, all of this stuff for a very long time, and she just thought enough is enough. So she gave us this idea and told us to take charge for it.
We can be at each other's necks sometimes, but that's kind of part of it. Sometimes you fight. Sometimes you get upset with each other, but in the end, we'll see the impact that we've made on society, and then we'll look back and be like, oh, that wasn't such a big deal. Right. Education is really important when it comes to literally anything, but especially when it comes to social issues, because if you don't know what you're fighting for, then why are you fighting? Please educate yourselves. It's so easy and it's so interesting to go through articles and to read them and to process information. Knowing what you're talking about is so important when it comes to this.
For too long, I think we kind of sat by and watched and wanted to do something and actually make a difference. My name's Kevin Bly.
I'm Beth Ann.
We live in Bridgewater, Massachusetts, and we started the CRAN Project. And the CRAN Project looks to ship multicultural art supplies to schools and nonprofits across the United States.
Well, with everything going on in the world, we kind of just, we're home, obviously. So we were just talking about things and just feeling that it would be nice if every kid felt comfortable in their classroom and was able to have the right tools to draw themselves, to draw their families, and to just feel included. I'm in kindergarten. We just have big buckets of crayons. The kids will be like, can you find me a yellow? Can you find me that peach color? And, I dig through and I'm like, this isn't the right color for you. That's what I'm thinking in my head.
This should just be like the same way that there's chairs and desks in classrooms. There should be art supplies that make kids feel included and set them up for success.
So to be able to say, oh, you know what, this is our bucket with multicultural crayons. Let's get the right one for you. It's just going to be so powerful for them.
We were having honest conversations with our own kids about kind of what was happening. Why are we going to a rally on a Saturday, talking about racism and trying to explain that, right? This was something that we wanted to do as a family. We came together and said, this is something that it's important to us as parents raising two kids to give them an opportunity to give back. So as we just kind of put out like, hey, we're going to purchase some crayons and get them out to our local schools, more and more people were like, this is great, we're interested. Then social media kind of took on a life of its own. And as we started posting, like, you know, we're now in Connecticut, we had people in Rhode Island reach out. We're now in Rhode Island. Friends were tagging teachers or nonprofit workers in other locations and asking if we would be interested in helping them out as well. So the beauty of it now is most of the requests we're getting in now, we kind of scratch our head and we're like, how did you hear about us? The mayor of San Juan, Puerto Rico, reached out through Twitter and said, we'd be interested in you guys shipping supplies to San Juan if you're interested. And of course, we were like, sign us up. It was a good opportunity. That was our first kind of foray into something outside of the continental United States for sure. But, you know, then we had a colleague that reached out who's teaching kindergarten in Japan right now. And that's how we got into Japan. And then somebody saw on Instagram up in Canada that has a preschool and reached out and asked if we would ship there. It's kind of truly showing the grassroots efforts that we were hoping to, you know, kind of light on fire. So we've gotten into a good habit of saying yes whenever somebody reaches out. Our girls have become very good at packing boxes with us. They love it, seeing like the different schools that it's going to. We have a little map that they flip over and shows the different states that we've shipped to, and they kind of own and control that. We sat on the outskirts for probably too long. We're both pretty socially aware, and it's easy to say, let somebody else deal with it, right? But small gestures like this can go a long way. And I think we're proving that, you know, when teachers, I mean, some of the notes that we're getting from teachers are like, you know, very humbling. It would be impossible for us to say no. I mean, we've, you know, dipped into our own pockets to get extra packages out when, like, you know, our funds have kind of run low, you know, and said, yeah, we're getting them out regardless, because it is going to make a difference for that kid to feel a little bit more comfortable and included in their classroom. We're very honored to be a part of a very small part in hopefully, you know, kind of easing tensions and, you know, making people feel more inclusive kind of within the community. Find ways to make a difference in your local community, whether it's on the issues that are important kind of regardless of what community you live in, or things that are very like important to your direct community. Get involved.
If you've received a donation or if you've received a package from us, I would say we would love it if you would pay it forward, and even a small donation would help us.